Well, hello everyone. This is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations, and today I'm here to share my fourth alternative video using the February 2025 paper pumpkin kit named Hello Spring. So if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you, and I hope you find some inspiration in this video. I share tips and tricks along the way just as I make them. I keep my videos real, so if I make mistakes, I try to show you ways that I would fix them so that may help you when you make mistakes. So also want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel and those who watch. Thank you so much for your support. And I really love reading all your kind comments and your thumbs up, seeing that. And also some of you like to reply because I like to see where you're watching from or where you just subscribed from, and if you're a new subscriber. So thanks for supporting me and lifting my spirits up with those comments. So before I begin, let's get started with a hands down view so I can share with you the last quarter of this month's paper pumpkin kit. So going on until March 10th. Now, I believe you only have till noon to change your subscription that day because they're doing something with the systems. You're no longer going to log into paperpumpkin.com. It's all going to be under your Stampin' Up! Account. So that's something that'll be easier. But don't miss this kit. It's supposed to be a great kit, so make sure all your payment information is up to date so you're not delayed in your shipping of that. Also, still available, last I looked, for the add-on dies for this quarter. And of course, we've used these for this month. The bees and honeycomb are meant for next month, but you can use these for any paper crafting needs, and they're a great value. The item number is 166237. So I do have a new host code for March. So if you don't have a demonstrator or you feel like supporting me, I would appreciate you using this code, host code, with any orders less than $150. When your order is $75 or more, I like to send you a little thank you gift from me when you use that host code, and it's $75 of merchandise more. All right, so I have some alternatives to share with you today. I really like these, so I thought I was going to have a mental block, but let me start with a pretty easy one. So if you've watched my videos, some of you like to wait till I'm done with all of them to start your cards, and thank you for letting me know that. So I cut this card base right here, and we covered up the score with some twine. So we had this piece left. So I want to show you what I came up with to use that piece with. And also I haven't used any of the herbs that came in a little die cut. So for this alternative, you're going to need a thick white card base. All right. As always, you're going to need a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 embossed layer. And I did the Forever Ferns. I guess I need to look. Something's wanting to tell me that retired, but it's a great one. Some of you may have it in your stash, but really any texture would be good, or you can just leave this layer off. All right, you're going to need a piece of old olive, and this one measures 3.75 by 5 inches. So I'm going to try not to lose my pieces. I know last video some stuff was sitting right here in front of me and I didn't see it. I think all these little puppies disrupt me, and I said I was going to do a clear, but I just kept the puppies, and I'm going to try to look carefully that I don't lose stuff right in my sight. All right, and then you need a white layer, and this white layer is 4.75 by 3.5. So 1/8 of an inch smaller than this, because these are going to be on top of each other. All right, so we have that. Then you're going to need your little piece from your kit. So this is the basil, and I'm going with it because it only has green shades in it. I'm going to use the ones with some Lost Lagoon and another alternative. All right, and then from that strip, or from that end piece, okay, so it's hard to show you, but because I've already cut mine up. So we cut it here at first, so then we were left with this. So from this strip, you're going to cut 1 1/8 inch pieces. Okay, you can get 4 across, so we can do 2 cards with that. I've already done one, so I can show you my finished one when we're done with this. let me put this back in my big envelope so it doesn't go missing. These are great for storing your kits or pre-made card bases you may make, as well as the memories and more. They're a part of my favorite things, and all of my favorite things are listed in the video description of this video. You will have to look where the title is, and it kind of starts some words of what this video is about. Click the more button, and you may have to click more again, and they're at the bottom of that post. Anyway, we need 2 of these right here. So this is a pretty easy alternative. So let's just go ahead and start putting it together. I'm going to bring in my deluxe foam mat just so I have some something, so it's not white on white, and I'm gonna stack that all there so I don't lose it. All right, that I had to laugh at myself with that, because when I rewatched it, I was like, that vase was right there and I was looking for it. All right, so I'm not going to glue this on yet, just in case we make a mistake, but you're going to take each of these and we're going to put them on the ends. All right, and then this is going to go in the middle on dimensionals. Now, make sure you look at the direction your herbs are going, like the bottom of them versus the top, so you don't get them upside down. So just kind of eye where you want to put it, and you want to look for equal border of this white. So let me get out my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. I think it had something stuck in it earlier today. Let's see if it's going to work. It's working. All right, so I like using this because I can set it down and I can move it before it dries to where I have equal spacing. All right, that looks pretty good. Actually, this one looks like the remaining 1 inch. So you'll be left with a 1 inch strip. This one's better. You'll be left with a 1 inch after you cut these to 1 1/8. Who knows? I'm going to put this in my little envelope because I may come up with something for it. But I like to give alternatives to use all your supplies. So we had not used these yet, and then we had this big strip left from our other alternative. All right, we're going to put that there. And then this basil piece, I'm going to use dimensionals on it. So I just go with a piece I have started. We did get quite a big thing of dimensionals this month, which is nice. I like to cut my large ones in half. I figure that half enough is good, and then I can use more, get more bang for my buck on those. All right, so let's take off these backings. I'm going to work kind of fast because I have some others that I hope to get to all of those in this video. All right, so we're going to put this, oh, my old olive layer. I said I wasn't going to lose anything. It's right there. Let's glue this to the old olive layer. I tell you, our weather here has been crazy. We had some storms run through, and it's kind of that time of year where it's kind of cold, and then it's going to be 80 degrees, and then it's going to get cold again. That's just kind of how it works about this time of year. Okay, and then let's go ahead and put this on our thick white card base. Again, this would look good without it, but I always like to add an embossing folder. If you've followed me for any time, you know it's hard for me to do a card without any texture with an embossing folder. Some kind of texture I love. Okay, and then we're just going to adhere this down. Now, I'm doing dots, and I try to break that habit and just do a line, but I think I still have something stuck in my glue. It's not coming out very well. All right, so put that on there, and then to dress it up, I'm going to do a bow. Now, I have one pre-made if I have trouble, but I'm going to show you how I've learned to do a double bow with a fork. So just get some twine out. By the way, when it curls up like that, if you take your finger and just pull with your fingernail, it straightens it out a little bit so it's not quite so twisty. All right, so here's what I learned. Let's see if I can do this on video. So you start it like this. You go around the back. Can you see that? Around the back. Come over this first fork piece. Around the back again. Do it again. All right, and then you come all the way back around. Now with that, you'll want to, I have quite a bit of extra over there. You want to cut your tails. Actually, I did it earlier where I didn't have to cut my tail, but I'm going to cut it because I've got lots of twine here. All right. So once you have this, right, you've got it wrapped around there twice, there twice. Okay, you stick this around one more time and come through the middle. Okay, and then you stick that through. And there's your loop. Can you see that loop? All right, that you're going to stick that through to make your knot. Actually, it's got to go in the backwards way, or it won't be a knot. And then I need 3 hands for this. Sometimes it goes right in, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, and then you just pull. Okay, and you can see you've got a knot there. So now you can pull that off, and there is your double bow. All right, and then you just trim your tails to how you want it. You can do this same thing with your fingers, but I like the tiny bows, so that's why I used a fork. And you can tighten it up again if you want to. I feel something is loose. Let me pull gently. My knot went away. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go with my one that's a for sure knot. I did something wrong in the tying of the knot, or I didn't do it tight enough. But that is the basic concept. I may try to do that on another video for you and get it better. Like I say, always when I try to do it on a video, it doesn't always work. I think I can still work with that one, but I don't want to take up your time and mess that up. I'm using a glue dot from our paper pumpkin kits to adhere this. Now this was a large one, so I'm going to make it kind of smaller where I can then press that little bow there. Now if you want to dress it up more, you know I have used the bees from the Sweet Sunflower stamp set that some of you may have if you've been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for quite a while. So I'm going to give this a quick color. I do this little wings with a gray, and then I do the body. I just use these watercolor pencils, which are a great value. I've had these, gosh, probably since I started, and I still have this old box. And then I need the black. And you can see I still have a lot of pencil left. All right. I kind of did a boo-boo on that one. So I'm not going to adhere him. Actually, with a watercolor pencil, I should be able to erase it. So let's see if I'm successful in erasing it. This is a little bitty spot to erase. Kinda. The black, not so much. So anyway, you can add bees here. If you have this mixed floral set, it has some very cute ladybugs that you could add. And I did that on a few in my previous videos. So that is my card, minus a sentiment. Now this one already has a sentiment on it. So that shows how you can use that other piece of I call it DSP because we use the Cardbase like designer series paper. And so that is my first alternative to share with you. Now I do have a question because the refill box, it seems to show 3 of these. My kit, I had 4 sheets. So let me know, does yours have 4 or 3? Maybe I just got an extra one this time. I don't know. I'm sure there's mistakes that happen like that when they package. But let's get on to my next alternative. Kind of clean up my space here and get rid of my fork. I don't want to have to do that again. And let's get started. So this one is maybe one of my favorites, minus my little planter box. I love that planter box. Okay, so for this alternative, this takes a whole half of one of your Lost Lagoon card bases, but we're going to get several cards out of it by adding some additional supplies. So let me show which we're going to do first. So I have these new dies, and let me just tell you, I'm going to be using these a lot because I love them. I love the designs of them. The item number for this, I can't tell you because my is 165555. Now it is part of a bundle of stamps if you want to get the bundle. I do not have the bundle number, but good news, the online store, if you just search textured notes, well, for one, the bundle will come up. But just say you search that item number I gave you. Now there's a little picture that tells you it's part of a bundle or a suite, or there's designer series paper. They have finally added that. I've been wanting that for years because it's kind of frustrating if you click on a stamp and you don't know it has dies. You just kind of had to guess. But now it'll show you if there's coordinating products. So I love that. All right, back to what I was doing. So I've already pre-done this, but I'm going to show you what I did. So I took the largest die, all right. I did center it, and I ran it through the machine. Now, if you wanted to, you could do this all at once, okay. I then took this, centered it, and ran it through, okay. So then I had a little frame open window, and I can show you what that looks like. All right, so you're going to be left with that after you cut the inside. So like a little window open. I got to be careful not to lose any of these pieces. Okay, you're going to do the same thing with a piece of basic beige. All right, and we're going to end up making the same card but flipped as where the basic beige is and where the Lost Lagoon is. Okay, with this big piece, you're going to cut it again with the next largest die, okay, like this. All right, so if you wanted to line all those up and tape them, you could do that. I find it easier just to run each one. All right, so then I'm left with this piece and this piece. So don't get rid of your other pieces, like the in-between and the outside, because we're going to make another alternative with those. All right, did I steal the show there? So that, I'm guessing the stitched rectangles, if that's all you have, would work for this as well. You just won't get that cute little pattern of stitching on the sides, but there will be regular stitching, which would be nice enough. Now you could just cut these. I've worked on my PDF, and you would just, that has the sizes in there of these dies, or about what kind of square you would want. You could just cut regular squares, and with the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you can trim on the insides. Now I'm having a hard time getting that in there. Okay, so that's our pieces. So let's get started. All right, we're going to need a thick white card base. I have one over here ready. All right, I'm going to stick that there. Then you're going to need a embossed layer to fit behind this largest piece, okay? So it's not a full size. This is about 5 by 3.75 to fit behind here. So you're going to need 2 of those. I'm going to try to work on these cards at the same time. I'm going to stick my thick white card base over here. All right, now the hardest part is getting that to stick on there and not get glue all over. So the best thing is the silicone mat. All right, and then I'm going to get my fine tip glue bottle, and you can either go along the fern or your border. I'm going to do the fern, but I'm doing my best to get on the very edge because I know that's where it's going to sit. Okay, and I put glue on the front because that's going to go on the back of this piece. Let's see if I can do this. I think that's the easiest way, is to set your frame on there. Kind of press. And since that's just a little frame, you want to be gentle. Now, especially if you're going to use a tape runner, be sure you kind of hold it so it doesn't tear. Ask me how I know. I used a tape runner on one and it kind of tore the corner. You'll see it in my finished one, but I don't think it shows that much. So while this dries, I'm going to stick it upside down over here, and I'm going to glue on my one for the basic beige. Is that the front? Yep, that's the front. And I get glue stuck in there. It dries sometimes. I was kind of going to start making alternatives Monday, and then I realized my in-person class for my local subscribers is tomorrow. So I was like, oh dear, I need to start my PDF. So I did send out what I've done so far to all of my subscribers, and I will update this and send this out hopefully by the weekend. All right, let's make sure we kind of have that on there good. I can scoot that up a little bit. All right, so, oops, I pulled, so you got to be gentle. If you don't think you got glue on there, add a little more. I probably could go with my full bottle to get heavier glue. Glue dots would work as well. All right, let's just hope that that's going to dry and be good. I'm going to turn that one upside down, and we can work with this one. Hopefully it's dry enough. All right, so where's my thick white card base back? And then we are going to put this layer on our card. So this is where you can be even more generous with your adhesive because it is a embossed piece. Whoops. It came out like a blob, but I smeared it there. So usually what I do is kind of get it started, and then you can keep your arm moving. That way you don't get blobs. All right, and then let's put this, let me see, this side is the larger side. Now, these are not proportional for an A2 card. So no, you will have a little more border on your sides than you do your tops. Does that make sense? They're not proportional to A2. All right, so that is our start of that. Now, here's where we're going to swap it up. We want to take this piece here for the Lost Lagoon piece here. And then we need our basil, or mint, excuse me, because the mint has some Lost Lagoon, and I think that color really pulls that out. All right, we're going to put that down right on top of that, flat. Probably should have refilled my glue. I'm having to squeeze quite a lot. I'm going to get my full-size bottle just to make sure I have enough. All right, and then you're going to put this at the top because you're going to leave room for your sentiment. Now I see, since I haven't pressed down, I have a little nib. So when you punch these out of your kit, they sometimes have little, I don't know, a hanging chad is what I call them, that you need to trim off. So that looks good. And then we're going to put this up with dimensionals. Now I'm going to show you my finished ones in a minute. Here is where I put my sentiment. And of course you can do your sentiment of choice. I kind of made these birthdays or thinking of yous just for all occasion. Those are the most popular that I find to send out for any occasion. I need to cut some more in half. Let's do this on the side here. And I'm going to do a quarter there and one there. So it's not going to go anywhere. My fingernails are slowly growing back. I broke this one off really far. It doesn't hurt anymore. It just needs to get longer to help me peel these things off. All right, so then you want to center that on your white area. And I'm going to have to add something there. Nope, it's sticking. All right, so that is the base of our card premises. Now, I really hope these come back. They have been out of stock, but they are the cutest things. These tiny bee trinkets. I think they're expected sometime this month, but maybe towards the end. Item number 164714. And look at these little guys. I think it works perfectly with this design, a simple bling of one bee. These are not self-adhesive, so this is where I really love having glue dots, because I can get this thing, put the glue dot where I want it. All right, and then attach my bee. Cute little guy. And you'll see my finished one. Okay, I did do another double knot. Let's see if I'm able to salvage this one. I think I just got to pull one way, but I'm afraid if I pull one way, it's going to unravel the whole thing. And it did. You know what? Let's try it one more time so you can see. Let me get this knot out of it. Doop. Hopefully it's big enough, even though I trimmed it already. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'll just fast forward the video. I'll edit it so you don't have to sit here and watch me fuss with it. Let's get a new piece. All right, let's forget that one. All right, so you want to get some twine. Now, I don't like having that loop in it, so pull some out and then run your finger or a bone folder or something to kind of straighten that out. All right, you want to start with your piece over here. All right, you're going to run it back around your first one, around your last one, all the way back around, and then you're going to poke it through the fork underneath every piece. Maybe that'll help you know where to. Okay, now you bring it back around, and this is where I'm kind of running out of twine, and you want to make a knot. So run it through that loop the opposite way. And you can give yourself more ribbon too. I'm going to get there. Let me start over with more ribbon or more twine. Okay, around. I'll do this faster. Okay, stick it through. And then this one, you want to stick it in where it'll make a knot. It's really hard to talk and do this. Okay, and then you can pull. And if you don't think you have a knot, here's what I've done before too. It's just make another one on top of it. That way it for sure won't come out. Ribbon is easier to work with than twine. It's just so fun. So I just made myself another knot on top so it won't come out. Or I say I did. You know, I've made 10 of these without you guys. Okay, so we're just going to imagine, I'll just do a simple one. So we'll take this one. A regular bow will work for this one. And I will get rid of that. Okay, so a simple one is easy. All right, I guess you could make two and set them on top of each other. So I'll show you my finished one, and it'll look prettier than that, but that's how you make it. That's what you want to see, right? Is basically how to make the card. All right, so let's switch this over and do our basic beige one. Same thing. We just want to have a thick white card base, which I have my stash that I've pre-made here. All right, fold it. I get my bone folder. I'll get better at making that, and like I said, it's always harder on video. I think I try to go too fast. All right, this side is bigger, So we're going to adhere this one down. So it's the same design, just using the different parts to switch it up. Almost put the glue on the front. How's my time? Doing pretty good for 2 more cards. All right, and then this one, we'll put this one here on dimensionals. So what do you guys think so far about this one? I can use the bottom part. I'm really a fan of the Lost Lagoon. The green's a little bold, so that's why I only use little pieces of it here and there. In my opinion, I mean, I like green. I have nothing against green. I did a design once. I think it was back in the lavender, and the lady was so kind. She said, "Oh, it gives your eyes a place to rest," because it was that busy floral, and I just used pieces. I cut them up always. I thought that was cute. All right, set that there. Now again, here's where we go. Do you guys have 4 or 3? If you have 3, you're not going to be able to make one of these. Like I said, my kit had 4. So same design. Let me show you the finished results. So this is with the Lost Lagoon one. Isn't that bee cute? And of course my nice bow there. Had no problems with it. And then this basic beige. So same thing. You just flip your die cut pieces for 2 different looks. So I really like these. So I hope you like them as well. You can make as many of these. Now, if you don't, when you run out of those, you could just do another white die cut of some sort and stamp the, what is that called that we have? Chive. Do a chive there. All right, let's see if I have time for this last one. So as I said, save the little pieces. This one's really stretching it, but you tell me what you think. So this uses those outside pieces. Okay, those little bitty frames that we cut off. And of course you'll have the same thing with the basic beige. Let's see which one I did already. All right, let's just go ahead and make this one. And you can make the opposite with your basic beige leftover pieces. All right, thick white card base. Okay, set the taller end up top. All right, now this was kind of hard because this one is full size and it's really thin. I did do a full 5.5 by 4.25 piece here, and you want to adhere that here. Now, I've tried glue runner and it's really tricky, but I'm going to do it again. Where's my silicone mat? Because you only want adhesive on the very edge, or you're going to be using your glue eraser for forever. Now, I happen to have this old 3M machine. I still have lots of tape, so I'm going to use it. So I did my silicone mat so I could run off the edge. Okay, that way I'm only getting about half the glue on there. And it still may make a mess, and I'm going to have to erase some. This is easier than doing a bazillion glue dots. All right, now the hard part is going to be put this on straight. Oh, I do have a trick for this. All right, let me show you a trick. If you have a Stamparatus, all right, I have lots of stamps on here, I know, but we're just going to use the inside as a square for the corner. All right, you want to put your embossing folder, got glue all over the back because I went half off here. All right, and then your frame, you can get it in the corner. Okay, and then press, and that helps get it on straight. Now you just have to get it off because I have glue on the back. So did that, you guys like that trick? If there's any hanging off, you could just trim it, your white. Okay, I'm gonna have to go around with my lovely glue eraser because even though I went, I didn't quite go off enough. So this is my favorite little guy. Now with this fine frame, you need to hold it because you could rip it up and tear it. This is a fussy one, so you could skip this card if you wanted to. I just thought I would use all the pieces. That didn't work. That worked pretty good. All right, hold your frame so you don't tear it. This is another must-have in your craft room if you're a beginner. It's called a gum eraser or something like that, and it's part of my favorite things. I also have an Amazon storefront that there's a link to it as well with all of the goodies in there. All right, that worked out decently. All right, a little messy, but we got it. All right. Now we can put this down on our card front. Now I'm going to do the same thing because this is a full front. So I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue this time. Now the one I'm going to show you, I used a Lost Lagoon inside, and this one I'm using a white. So you let me know which one you like better. All right, so this, because it still has some glue on the back, it's not going to slide as easy. But that helps get it on the front without messing. You see, that's pretty centered, right? So I hope you found that tip helpful of putting things that need to go right on top of each other, especially dainty little things. All right, and then we need the opposite of this. And then you need a white piece to go behind here. So for this one, it's 4 5/8 by 3 1/4-ish. All right, so just enough where, I wrote it right there, 4 5/8 by 3 1/8 to make sure you have room to adhere it. All right, so I can take that off. That was for me when I go to make my instructions. All right, make sure you do the front of your card. So this time I'm going to try my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. I'll get my silicone mat so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Just a fine layer on the edge. All right, and then let's set this on top of it. All right, and let's let that rest a second so it sets in. All right, so obviously with the other one, we would put basic beige here and use this one here just to give it a flip-flop. Or you can do the same color. This one I'm going to use the beige. The one I did before, I used all one piece. All right, you want to decorate this, of course. So I got my blending brush out to add a little color to it, and my Lost Lagoon ink pad. Got a slew of stuff over here now. Now, if you have the full-size pads, you can go right off of your pad. Okay, pick up some ink. I still like to get a block. I usually have my glass mat that I work with, and at least kind of get the the ink smoothed out. And then I just set it down here. All right, I'm not even pressing. And I just kind of start rubbing until I see color. And then you can add a little more pressure and get a little light wash of Lost Lagoon on here. All right, anything works like that. I can see I need to get my glue eraser here. It's shiny, so that tells me my glue dried there. I probably shake my camera, don't I, when I do that? but I need to get it off. I think run one direction works better than back and forth like I was doing. All right, I also am going to bring in a new set. I have the text. Let me see if I have the stamp set over here. And I don't. I will have this in my blog post whenever I get to doing all my alternatives. And I decided to do this one in pecan pie, but I'm going to do second generation stamping. So I need a piece of scrap paper. And what second generation stamping means is, put my magnet back so I don't lose it, is you're going to first ink it up, you know, like you normally would. And with a larger stamp like this, I like to go ink pad to stamp. All right, so you're going to do the first generation of ink here, and you're going to do the second here. Just so it's light, right? You just want a little, I guess, vintage look, I guess. Now, if you don't have those stamps, they are new, fairly new. Not the last online exclusive, but they're fairly new. All right, and then we're going to put it on dimensionals as well. Now I'm going to show you what I do when I'm designing. So I have a little scrap here, and I put that there. And then we need a pot, and the pot, I'm using the stamp set from the Welcome In Paper Pumpkin Kit. You could obviously just kind of fussy cut you one if you didn't have this, or maybe you're lucky enough to have that. And it also had die cuts with it. And I know I had some cut. What did I do with my little envelope that I had all my goodies in? All right, here they are. I actually had put them in the die set. So when this set came out, it had coordinating dies. So this is the set, the Welcome In from June of 2023. So it's a good reason not to skip these add-on dies. You never know when you're going to want to use a stamp again. So let me get out that vase. And I'm going to ink this in the same pecan pie just to give it a variation of color. All right, I have my stamp apparatus here. All right, make sure it's in the corner. I'm going to ink up my vase. And the one, I know I've got a lot of stamps on here. Try to work with lots of things. All right, press. And I want it darker than that, so I'm going to do it again. That's the beauty of the stamp positioning tool. Another thing that would help would be if I used Versamark to start off. That would help more ink absorb into that. Did I push that in the corner? We're about to find out. Oh, good. It's nice and dark now. All right, so let me set that there. I'm not going to lose any vases this time. Like I said, I think the puppies got in my site. It's kind of busy paper to work with all of my little glue pieces all over. I know my what's that thing called? Well, I've lost it. The thing I clean my stamps with, the little spongy. All right. So we just want to do our thing, and then pick a, by the way, if it has some white and you have the markers, that's why I love having markers, is you can go along and fix that. Probably should have realigned my stamp. And since I did it double, I got to do double markings around. All right, so that's how you can fix the little edges like that. It's great to have these markers around for little boo-boos like that. All right, and then pick a herb out of your kit. So again, like I said, I had 4 sheets of this. I can show you from one kit. I didn't get multiples. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you guys have 4 or 3? the pictures from the refill looks like you should just have 3. But you can pick whichever one you want. I think I'll use this one. Like I said, I saved the green ones for the mainly green card base. All the others have a little bit of color. All right, so that's how I would do that one. And since we're running kind of long, let me just show you the finished product. Put this away so I don't lose that. You know, I'm just going to set it aside where I won't lose it. It'll be all right there, nice and tidy. And here is the finished card. Now, like I said, I did use Lost Lagoon on this one. And I did the same. I didn't do the opposite pattern. So now imagine this one finished. I think you can do that, right? With the cute little bees and a sentiment. I don't know. I think I kind of like the opposite with white in between. But if you like a lot of color, you're going to like this one. That's why I like giving different alternatives, because everyone has their own style of what they like. And you do you, and you'll love it. Okay, so that is my alternative. So I hope you've enjoyed these. We got 3, adding some cardstock and some die cutting out of 1/2 of a card base. So you can make lots of these, especially since you have the chive stamp and die set. You can make many of those. So that is that. Let me just give you a little review. So we made this one with the remaining piece from the ones we had cut earlier. Of course, this one, and then my favorite ones are these. This was just kind of extra. It's like I don't want to throw those away, so I made a card. All right, these are my favorites here, and I know I have a finished one here. It's on the back. Nope, that's even partial finished. And that one. Just love those little bees. I really hope they come in soon, because they're great to add to these cards. So let me clean up and switch to me. Actually, I don't even have to clean up. I can just switch to me. All right, so thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed these alternatives. I'm not sure what materials I have left. I'll have to kind of make all of these and then see what I have left. And if I have stuff left, I'm sure I will make an alternative with them and come back to you. So it could be my last one, but also the new kits coming in. I do have an order coming in tomorrow that's going to have my heirloom kit. I can't remember the full name, but it's in the kit collection, and I hope to start working on it as well. So at the end credits, there will be a little picture of me where you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's also a link to my online store where you can shop 24/7, and also a link to any previous videos with this kit. So have a great day, everyone. Until my next video, I hope you have fun crafting. And see you later. Bye-bye.